I've a story to tell. Some say 'tis a story about coal. Some say 'tis a story about family. I say 'tis a story about how I got here. Comox Valley, Vancouver Island, 1910. Name's Maggie. Maggie O'Sullivan. Notice I didn't say Miss or Mrs. Folks wouldn't know me if I did. I've a story to tell. There's no many who want to know anymore. How about you? Well, of course you do, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting there on your duff. Oh, Lord, now I've offended the genteel in the crowd. Well, no matter. I've a story to tell, and I'm no ashamed to tell it. Papa was a coal miner, and his father before him, and his father before him, and his father before him. It sounds like a verse from the Bible. Chapter 2, verse 3, Sean O'Sullivan begat the miner Matthew, who begat the miner Jacob, who well, you know what I mean.
I got my first hat when I was 17, sorted coal when I was 14. My dad was a miner, so was his. Taught me a lot about coal, working hard, taking pride. When I first got my hat, I really felt like I was one of them. The pit workers, the men of the deep. It was never said, but I knew then that I would never be alone. Like a silent oath, we looked out for each other. You wore this hat, you were one of them. We were a special breed, the pit workers.
Everyone should have the opportunity to read and write. Wouldn't you agree?
We have a fine education system in place.
No, I'm not speaking of the privileged class. I'm speaking of all mankind. It shouldn't matter if one is born into privilege or poverty. Education must be made available to all. How can anyone alter their station without the tools to secure a new path?
We must all accept our station in life. I know I have accepted mine.
Some have not had the luxury of choice. If a fellow or woman wants to better their station in employment or education, why should she be denied?
Oh, Ellen. Please don't muddle your pretty little head with such things. Now, who's ready for a taste of that trifle?
Do not dismiss me as if I were one of your servants.
Please remember your place, and I won't need to.
Why should education be denied?
Enough! Our guests need your attention.
It is I that needs theirs. Welcome to the Spring Inn Halfway House. Come for a pint, water your horse, and enjoy the pleasures of the gals. You think if I got all prettied up, they'd treat me anything different? Well, my dear, you are dead wrong. I've been pushed off the boardwalk, spit at, and cursed at. They all know what I do, and I'm not going to pretend different. This is who I am and what I do.
I will pray for your sins, my child. I will pray for your sins. Deuteronomy 22, verse 5 states that the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to man. All who do so are abominations unto the Lord thy God. Child, it is a blasphemy to desex yourself. You are a menace to the country.
Simple man or not, you will remember to wash your hands and face before you sit down at one of my tables. There will be no chewing, spitting, or cursing at the Waverley Hotel. As sure as my name is Mrs. Pikett, I intend on keeping this the finest establishment in Union. White linens and serviettes, use the correct spoon for broth, manners at all times. Even if you burrow in the ground like rats, when you are above ground, I will insist on manners. Take your hat off if you intend to sit.
Well, son, having the ability to talk can be a blessing, but the sensible man will choose when to talk and when not to. My boy looked at me, and I remember the look in his eyes that was questioning my values. Well, I had to set him straight. Calling, I said, "This man, Ginger Goodwin, is a fine man, and I respect what he has to say. Well, I believe in my heart that he is trying to make things better for us workers. But I'm only saying that a man like that, no matter how honorable, is going to get himself shot in the back if he's not careful."
It's time for a little educating. Now students gather round. This here is a lesson on the male species. Now this lesson was not taught at your schoolhouse, and this lesson was not taught at your Sunday school studies. This lesson was not taught by your mama, your granddaddy, or your auntie. This lesson was taught by yours truly, the educated and refined Bridget May Willis. Now the first lesson you need to know about the male species is they can only have one thing on their mind at one time: work, play, or women. Not necessarily in that order, but it's got to be one of those three. If he's thinking about work, rest assured he's not thinking about you. And if he's thinking about you, he can't do no work. It's just the way they are, and we shouldn't expect more.
There's the whistle. Starting time at number 6, Union Colliery Company, Cumberland. Starting at 4 p.m., black as coal outside, putting in a 12-hour day. There's something that needs to be said about the working man. A man struggles to get a steady job. Not too particular about what that job is, but in a coal mining town like Cumberland, you need to find your place fast. We all live and die with coal dust running through our veins. Once it's in the family, there's nothing you can do to stop it.